But
and she's not joking. She has fallen asleep to me talking to her. Straight up multiple times.
God.
All right, we're going at 55.
Oh, me. Sorry. Oops. Wait. Okay. Sorry.
How much time do we have?
Is it my sound check?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going.
We're going.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's the Anything
Getting
Can
the raw
Happen
and
show.
uncut.
Yeah. Am I okay?
Yeah, that's the
No.
fun
Hello.
part.
Hello. Talk. Hi.
Oh.
Everybody, stop talking. Hello. Hola. Bienvenidos. Am I good? Am I okay?
That's her
Okay.
level.
Okay.
All right.
Same level she is every week.
Damn, I wanted you to go at 55.
Oh.
56.
Am I,
56?
Yeah, because
am
it's
I
55
sideways,
right now.
guys?
Okay.
Or am I straight up?
How do I?
No,
Oh
I
God.
think we're
How
like
do I
this. I
do-
think you
how
have
do I
to turn the
not
phone
disturb
that way.
again? Why do
I'm
I-
wondering,
Like
are we
that
seeing
corner.
it like, are they seeing me?
Oh!
Sideways, or are they seeing me sideways?
Thanks.
No, I think
And then what's the
Are you
button?
guys seeing me
Do you know the
sideways? Somebody give me a
Focus.
Give us an
Straight up.
update.
Here we go. Oh my God! Thank you so much.
sideways.
Yes, thank you.
And if you
Alright,
press
I'll
on
do
just
it
the
like
button,
this.
the icon, it bypasses that
All
screen.
right, how
It is
about that?
do not disturb me.
Then you're not in the screen.
Then mine's
Yeah, go that
so
way.
I'll
Sneak over
He'll
every
sneak
couple.
over.
Sneak over every couple minutes. That's the camera.
She said, "Unlock your screen." My daughter is a fantastic. I don't know how to do that. How do
You
I?
have to scroll down.
Okay, we're gonna try.
I don't know what that is.
Hey,
All right,
Siri.
we're going in.
Can you shut down my phone? Turn off phone.
That may be beyond my abilities at the moment.
Okay.
You're listening to KGPC 96.9 FM Oakland and streaming online at www.kgpc969.org. This is the Anything Can Happen show with Kenya Asa, Cat Fitness, and our guest host, Darren from Financial State of Minds, y'all. We have a great episode coming up for y'all today. We have a repeat. We have somebody that's been in the building before.
Rewind.
That was last year, though, I think.
I was here last November.
November. So
Yeah.
it's been a while.
It's been a while.
I wasn't here that day though.
You wasn't here that
You
day?
were not.
What?
No, you
No.
weren't.
Where were you?
It depends on what day it was, but who knows?
Somewhere
Who
being
knows?
fabulous. I'm
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're
Well, we have Miss Shanette from the Good Life Path back in the
Hey.
building, y'all.
Woo!
I'm fired up today,
Welcome
man.
back. Guess who's back?
Man.
Who's
Back
back?
again.
Or I thought you were gonna go the Slick Rick route. I know you're.
Oh.
Guess who's back?
I could go
Was that-
Slipwick route too.
Guess who's back?
Oh my goodness.
Hey, young world.
Yeah.
So the last time you came in, you were getting ready for your first event.
Yes. Yay.
We were promoting the first
Yeah,
event.
we were promoting the
And
first.
you were worried a
outfit.
little bit, and I
I
think
was super petrified. Actually, I was frightened. I was like, is anybody going to show up? Yes, that was our first annual health fair. It takes a village.
yeah.
Yeah.
And guess what?
It was dope.
The village showed
The
up.
village showed up.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
thick in the building.
Yeah,
I
the
happened
village
to
showed
be
up.
one of the panelists
Yes.
on a dope panel of brothers. It was the barbershop.
Yes, so
Talk.
it was the barbershop talk, which was basically a panel discussion that was centered around Black men's health.
Come
and
on,
barbershop
we need
talk
more of that.
is one of the programs that we have at the Good Life that supports Black men's mental health and physical well-being.
So who thought that up? Was that you, or was that like
That was me.
that? Come
Yeah.
on, see, think of us Black men.
I
You're
love
taking
y'all.
us into consideration.
I love y'all. Without you, there's no me. Without me, there's no you.
Come
So
The
I
yin
have
and the
to,
yang.
as I have grown into this, self-love, we have to extend our love to our men too. So
Mhm.
So
So for those of us, I
Go ahead.
totally just jumped in on Kat's so we both said so. So for those of us that were not here last year, like myself,
yes.
or who weren't watching your episode, tell us a little bit about what you do, where, because you came from a
Absolutely.
long way today to be with us, and so we really appreciate that
No
drive.
problem, yeah.
So what is it that you do? Where you come from?
Well, actually, I came from a long way, like slightly east of Oakland. I wasn't that far, but I was in class. I teach a class, but my name is Shanette Merrick. My background is in clinical research. But during the pandemic, I started a program called the Good Life Program for Healthy Aging, which supports underserved communities to make sure that we have access to exercise programs, nutrition programs, mental health support, and as much as I could bring to the table. Yeah.
Now, where is it here in
So
in
we're-
Oakland, the Bay Area?
Yeah, we're based out of Oakland.
Mhm.
But all of the classes are virtual, so it's on Zoom, and so that was like one of the key things for the program that I would like really kind of triggered thought for me during the pandemic, that everybody was stuck at home,
Mhm.
and particularly because I work for UC Davis Alzheimer's Disease Center, and our focus is for elders.
Mhm.
That I wanted to make sure that we were able to do something to provide some support. So it really kind of switched from being a clinical trial to a public health initiative
Mhm.
to support our elders in that time when
Yeah.
they were basically quarantined and locked down.
How has it changed from the heart of the highest point of the pandemic to now? Are you seeing less people needing it, more people equal?
I think you're going to see the same amount or more, right?
Well, yeah. Well, it's really interesting because there was a point where it was like hundreds of people, right? And of
Yeah.
course, when
Flooding
it
in.
comes to like exercise,
Yeah.
it kind of dips because people were like gung ho and they want to work
Yeah.
out, and then at some point they're
Yeah.
like, oh, all right, well, I'm going to take a break and maybe
Yeah.
I'll come back in a week or two, and then they kind of fall off,
Did
right?
people want to work out during the pandemic? I don't remember.
I was
mean,
working out during the
well, of
pandemic.
course you were.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
of
just
course
saying.
you were. I'm a yoga teacher, so I was
Mhm.
teaching.
So you didn't do no yoga during the
I
pandemic?
taught yoga, but the way I was baking bread and eating butter during the pandemic.
Like, the world is coming to an end.
Well, no, I honestly did
Going
not
down with the
think.
ship.
I did not think the world was coming to an end, but I was enjoying nesting
But you
at
s-
my house.
Yeah.
And I
Oh
grow
my
my
gosh.
own food. I
Uh-huh.
grow a lot of my own food, and so we really had everything that we needed. But then I was like, I don't want to go to the supermarket and deal with all the germs and buy bread. Let's learn how to make bread.
Oh,
And
yeah, that's cool.
so we did that, and then let's just say I had to be in stretchy pants
Right.
throughout the whole.
Oh yes, for
pandemic.
surely. I
Yeah.
definitely.
I had
Yeah.
way too many chins.
I-
It was all.
I for surely put on some COVID
Yeah,
weight that I'm still
sure.
trying to shake, but that's okay.
I feel like
It's
people
healthy.
I feel like people just went one
It's
way or the
healthy.
other. I was blessed. I got my in-home gym stuff, everything, literally.
Mhm.
And paid like $1,000 overpriced for all that stuff.
No,
you
I
didn't?
got it. If COVID started in March,
Uh-huh.
I got it in January.
Mm.
And it was
What,
like
you mean
the January
pre-COVID?
before?
Yeah, right before COVID hit.
Oh,
okay.
So like it was already hitting the world. It hadn't came to
Yeah.
the States yet. And
Yeah.
I got my treadmill, like my $1,500 treadmill for like $500.
Wow.
I got a
Oh,
full
wow.
like
Wow.
hand dumbbell set for like $200.
See, Darren knows where the bargain.
That's-
Darren is a money man, and so he knows where to find bargains
No,
from
he just-
shoes.
of course.
He just looked up
Front-
3
yeah,
months
he-
prior to
Right.
everybody putting everything, like weights were like super overpriced. During
Yeah,
COVID.
like it shot up.
Wow.
Literally, like
I'm looking at weights.
I
Like,
spent
what
like
are we
$600 on everything, 2 benches, like the weights, the
Good
the
Lord.
cardio,
I
and
went
then
to
like
Home
by
Depot and
March
bought
I'm
some
looking.
concrete and started lifting concrete.
Right.
Yeah, and I
weights
look
cost
up.
so
yeah.
much.
I look up in March, April, like April, May, when everybody knew we was gonna be in it for a bit. I'm like, I could double my money where I just was
Yeah.
at.
Sell it
But,
back, yeah.
yeah.
Well, we're definitely advising for people that maybe didn't have access
Yeah.
to, weights and all that stuff to like use what you have at home.
Yes.
Like grab a
Absolutely.
Water bottle.
grab a water
that's right.
bottle,
Uh-huh.
grab food cans
Yeah.
and use them as weights. Just use what
Absolutely.
you have
Yeah,
just to
use
make
your
sure that
resources.
Yep.
Yeah.
you are
Yeah.
keeping moving, because a lot of people have that issue, right? You're stuck at home. You're not going outside. You're really afraid to be around the public. So
Yeah,
we're kind of
absolutely.
isolating ourselves. So it was really important And not even so much because, you know, to answer your question about like whether or not people kind of dipped off, I really think a lot of people that did stick around and that still come, because we have a lot of the same folks that we had from the beginning that come now.
Can I chime in real quick?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you told me offline about somebody that's been with the program. It sounds like since the beginning, and you didn't want to skip out.
Yeah, that's
on the
why.
session
Yeah,
with them
today
today.
because I had to sing happy birthday to her. One of my participants who's been with us from the very beginning today, tomorrow is her 94th birthday. But I wanted to make sure
Wow.
that I sang happy birthday to her, and I sang happy birthday to her today.
Yeah.
Miss Maddie, we love her so much, and it's just such an honor, and I feel so blessed. Like I could say she is like one of the main reasons where I feel like I was led. Like when you have the opportunity to serve an elder and to really like shift the paradigm of their lives and help them change the way they look at food and actually introduce new recipes to their
she
family.
got to 94, so she was doing something.
Well, she was definitely doing lots of things right, but entered into the program with some health issues.
Okay.
Yeah, for surely entered in with some health issues, and it really kind of came right on time, like the nutrition part of the program, which I love. Like her testimony is like, my doctor just loves I'm involved in this program because they needed to shift her to a vegetarian diet, and
at her age, she did it.
And
she people be like, no,
yeah, she's doing it.
Wow.
And I mean, I just try to make, I try to make the classes really fun and like not intimidating.
You do, because I remember at the event you did like a cooking demo for everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And it was super dope because you made it fun. I felt like I was watching a TV show.
Right.
And you actually gave out a whole bunch of samples.
I gave out samples and I gave out bags of all the ingredients to
the
recipe, along with the recipe, so people can go home and actually
recreate it. I think
that.
I think we made it like the very next day. Like it was so delicious.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I was like, man, like this just the simplest thing sometimes is like, I've never had a salad with was it pomegranate?
It was pomegranates and persimmons.
I've never had a salad like
both.
that.
Yeah, I love salad. I've never had a salad. I don't think I've had a salad with persimmons, but I love salads with pomegranates.
Well, speaking of salad, I almost forgot
you
that
brought
I actually brought
treat.
you guys. This was what I made today for class, and so it's vibrant.
So I could eat that by myself, right?
I know you're gonna have to share.
I gotta share.
It's a vibrant arugula, orange and beet salad. So it has beets. I pan fried the beets in olive oil. There's
I haven't had lunch yet, right? And you're gonna be like,
and
I have to share this.
You don't have to share too much of it because I had a cauliflower arugula salad before I came.
What?
I made a huge one with walnuts.
You made a huge one, and I don't see none here.
None of it, because I left it for my husband in the hopes that he will.
Well, I'm your co-husband at the studio.
You are my work husband.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
so you have to bring me like a Tupperware full of that.
Right. I'll do it next time. And I made my own salad dressing.
I think Kat left out today because Kat, you should know I'm fasted right now.
Yes.
Oh yes, it's
all me.
Our Ramadan.
You did luck out.
So where do you get like inspired to get all these recipes to share with the community? Because I feel like you just have like so much to give.
I find recipes everywhere. Like I'm always on the search. The honest to God truth is like there's so many combinations and variations of vegetarian recipes and so many different ways to eat fruits and vegetables and grains and quinoa and all of those things. So I actually like the internet cookbooks.
Any specific like website or like app that you use?
Not really. I'm gonna be honest with you. I find a lot of stuff on Instagram.
Really?
Yeah.
When I was looking up recipes, and you guys can use this Pinterest.
Pinterest
is a great way.
Pinterest,
Man, you're gonna find so much stuff on Pinterest.
And I'm cooking all the time, and I cook all the time, and I grow a lot of my own food, and I'm plant-based but mostly vegan.
Right.
And so I'm constantly posting pictures of everything I cook, and people are always like, come out with like an ebook or whatever. And every year I say I'm gonna do it, and I haven't done it yet. Every year.
I kind of do a combination of what you guys said. I use Instagram to get the initial idea, But then if you want to learn how to cook it, like step by step, YouTube's a great place.
Yeah,
It sure is.
Yeah,
YouTube will
Well,
teach
you know, that's the
anything.
cool thing. So I find the recipes and then I work with my production manager, who happens to be my lovely eldest daughter, Naya. Shout out to my baby girl. So she's my producer. And we go through the recipe and we might make a couple of changes and adjustments depending on what the ingredients list is in cooking time, because I have to find things that are within time and that are affordable. And I really like to cook that are in season. So
Yeah.
I really look at like what's harvesting right now,
Yeah.
like what's in season. So
Well, that's
it's
the
going to
most
be cheaper
affordable.
and it's going
Yeah,
to
I
taste
was gonna
better.
say that's the
Yeah.
most affordable way to
Yeah.
do it. When people say it's too expensive to eat healthy, well, you're probably eating stuff that's not in
That's
season.
not in season,
right?
yeah.
Right.
So like for instance, like with the pomegranates and the persimmons, it was persimmon season.
Yeah.
So
You
when
went
it's
for it.
persimmon season, I am all over them. I love them and I love them in a
too.
salad.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Do
really
you like
good
the
in
soft ones or the hard ones?
I like the hard ones.
So do I.
Yeah.
Those are my favorites.
Yeah, I like
Oh my
the hard
gosh.
So
I'm sorry.
Oh my God, Kat.
I have a real question.
You know this is not that kind of a show, or is it?
Or is it?
It's the
Right.
anything
Dun,
can happen.
dun, dun.
It's the
Anything
anything
can
can happen
happen.
show.
Yeah.
So for those people that are making the transition to eating healthier and healthier habits, do you find it easy going through the coming into the program and helping them, or do you find people that you still get a lot of resistance on making these healthier choices?
No, it's super easy. You know what's really interesting? That's a great question because we're coming up on our 3rd year of the program, right? So we're almost celebrating our 3-year anniversary.
Any special kind of like event going for 3 years?
We are doing an event in collaboration with the city of Oakland where we're going to just be presenting for some of our community partners to involve, but I know not necessarily anything like we'll probably do like a really cool class.
Okay.
I know that for the Barbershop Talk program, they're coming up on their 1-year anniversary on April 20th. So we're doing a really cool mashup of Barbershop Talk and Let's Get Cooking. So we're gonna bring the guys into the kitchen and we're all gonna cook together. And they've requested vegan tacos, so we're doing some burrito tacos
So
with a lot of
You're gonna be using portobellos and stuff.
We're
like
doing
that?
What are you gonna
mushrooms,
make? Yeah, I was gonna say.
Brussels
Shiitake.
sprouts, zucchini.
Tofu?
No tofu.
No tofu.
I'm not a big fan of tofu, honestly.
But tofu, if
How
you
you
put
season it?
taco seasoning in your tofu and mix it up like ground beef,
Yeah,
it's
good.
heck.
Is it good? I'll try that. I really, with this particular class, I have used tofu, but I really like to stick to vegetables.
Right.
Like vegetables,
Yeah.
and fruit, like real whole
Yeah.
foods, like
Yes.
real things that like, I'm trying to get people like start growing your own food.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
you
You know what
got
I'm
to.
saying?
Yeah.
You never
That's
know. You never really
empowerment.
know what's going to
Empowerment.
happen, and to be able to have control over that aspect of our lives, it is very
It's
powerful
huge.
to
It's
like grow our own
huge.
fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I forgot. I feel like I skipped over an answer to
Good question.
the question.
No, you answered
yeah.
it. He asked about what you're doing, and you answered it.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
we do digress and we can
That's
really
why.
go
That's why
on.
I'm here to
we
really.
can go on
Well,
every
you asked if there was
Redirect it.
anything special I was doing, and then you asked about do people resist?
Oh,
yeah.
The resistance.
So
Right,
at first they
right.
used to. So I would always, there was this one lady in the
Uh-huh.
class, I'll leave her nameless, but she knows exactly who
Go
she
ahead
is.
and say anything
So
to
we-
have a show.
so
Throw
we
her
went-
under the
Don't
bus.
shout
She
her
would
out.
make a recipe and she'd go,
You
I'm gonna make some
in
chicken.
that.
Exactly.
Right.
I fried some chicken with this. And I'll go,
Right.
okay, like it's all good. Like, cause
Right,
I'm not here to make anybody feel like
That's the way I
eating-
feel.
To shame anybody.
Yeah, it's
That's
like
right. Eat what
I'm
you wanna
just here
eat.
to
Mhm.
introduce you to something new. And in all actuality, I remember I told you before, like I'm not vegan.
Yeah.
It was something that I started doing, and I tell them all the time, like we're learning together, we're growing together. So they're like whatever. I'm like, oh, you want to put shrimp in it? Cool,
Sure.
dope. Just have healthy options. But now,
Uh-huh.
3 years later, the same couple of folks
Uh-huh.
that used to make something on the side, they don't do it anymore.
Uh-huh.
They're like
Because you got like, my parents are both in their 80s. And so like my mom has this mindset where a meal is not a meal.
yeah.
unless there's meat in it. There's
Right,
a meal is
yeah.
not a meal, because she will literally be like, well, where's the meat? And I'll feed my 13-year-old or make a meal for my 13-year-old, or she'll be at my house or whatever, and she's like, where's the meat?
Yeah.
And I'm all,
Wasn't that a commercial
know.
one time?
Yes, it was. Where's the beef?
Where's
Where's
the
the
beef?
Yeah. But so,
Yeah.
that is a challenging concept to put forth, especially to the older generation,
Mhm.
that you can get full off of food that doesn't contain animal products,
Right.
or that it maybe your animal product for that meal is cheese or something like that.
Right.
But that you can actually stay alive,
Right. Absolutely.
without
I made it
meat,
7 years.
Right.
without meat
Yeah.
being the
I'm still here,
And you're
y'all.
still here. You're
Right.
still
Still here.
kicking, and
Yeah.
you're probably a lot healthier than you were back then. And so the other point and focus of the class that I teach is that we break down like all the nutritional values and health benefits of each ingredient of the recipe.
Like the vitamins and nutrients.
All of that.
Nice.
And even
Nice.
just like whatever fun facts, like
Yeah.
ginger, like, oh, it's good for your digestion, but you can use it on your skin and it makes your skin bright. And just for me, the ability to like cook something and understand like that every single thing that I put on my plate has a healing property,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or
It's
has
so-
a purpose.
has a purpose,
Yeah.
Yeah.
is so powerful.
Yeah.
And it definitely has stopped me from just eating whatever when I
Yeah.
get hungry.
Right.
So if I'm driving down the street and I'm like, oh, I'm hungry, and I see a fast food restaurant, we'll leave them nameless. I don't even bother. I don't.
Right.
And I don't. That's too.
But think about how
Much.
much more cost efficient that makes people when they go into the grocery store. Like
Yeah.
really looking at things and saying, what purpose does this serve?
Right.
Well, not only that, but when before I was a full-time self-business owner, when I was still working out in the field, and I was a social worker, sometimes I would be coming from court and going back to the office, or coming from court, going to a home visit or something like that. And I would stop and get gas, and then
Go
this
get
is
some
back
chips.
when every time,
Yeah.
and that's back when
Yeah.
I still ate potato chips, which I don't anymore. But at the time, because my mind would say, well, it's not horrible,
Uh-huh.
Right.
even potato chips are vegan.
Yeah.
It's not
Some.
it's not horrible. I like me some Lay's, sometimes some Ruffles, and then you grab something to drink, and you're not gonna be starving, because that will kind of expand in your stomach
Yeah,
and
for a
stuff like
little
that.
bit.
Right.
And so I think it's really critical, and maybe even more so in our post-COVID atmosphere,
Yeah.
that people understand that being prepared sometimes
Correct.
is really
Yeah.
good,
Yeah.
instead of like waiting, not having anything in my car, or not having like some
Yeah.
fruit or something like that. Having something in the car, nuts. I live off of nuts
Yeah.
now.
So do
But
I.
not having anything prepared will then lead you to the gas station
Well,
and a bag of Lay's.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you got to understand too, eating a whole bunch of like simple carbs, you're gonna constantly be snacking on a whole bunch of junk throughout the day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But
like
people,
when
it's
you
hard
eat
for people to
something-
understand that though, because you're hungry. You
Yeah.
be hangry. Like I would
Right.
be out in the field, and I would be hangry as I could possibly be. And I didn't want my own attitude, And if I knew that a bag of Lay's would soothe the savage beast, then that's what I was going to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we justify, right?
Absolutely.
We find ways to justify, like,
Right.
oh, it's not that bad, but it's
Right.
horrible if you really actually start to look at the
the oils
ingredients,
and everything.
the
that they're
oils,
Yes.
the
fried with.
sodium,
That's
Uh-huh.
right.
all of that. It's so unhealthy for us, and something that seems like it's so simple and it's not that big of a deal.
Right.
Is actually causing a tremendous amount of damage
That's
to
right.
our bodies.
Yeah.
Not only that, but like it's just not good for like our brain health either.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
So we have to start
Mental
thinking about
clarity.
things that are actually promoting brain health. So
Yes.
addition to like another focus is just like that brain health component. Right? I told you guys I worked for the Alzheimer's and dementia UC Davis, and working in Alzheimer's and dementia
and that,
research,
Yeah.
and just learning so much about how that affects our community,
Yeah.
and how much about that disease that we don't know,
Don't know.
and that
Right.
there is a direct link to the food that we eat and type 2 diabetes to Alzheimer's and dementia, and that you can
Yeah.
almost
My
guarantee
dad
that if you've
had
had a
both.
10-year history of type 2, that you are probably going to roll into Alzheimer's and dementia, which I recently learned is actually type 3 diabetes.
Oh, that's
Oh,
interesting.
yeah.
You heard it here
Okay,
first.
so
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
need to hear about that because I've spent many years talking to people in our community about just about the connection between food and
Right.
diabetes,
Yeah.
food and high blood pressure, and yada yada yada.
Food and like almost
And people
everything.
do
Food is
not.
medicine.
Food is
Food
medicine.
is medicine,
Yeah.
Food
and
is
or not.
Yeah.
Correct.
And so medicine or poison, right? Is it going to, I used to hashtag food that won't kill you, right?
Yes.
And so it's very hard, and you work with the elder population.
Yes.
It's very hard to get younger people, a lot of people, to even hear that because especially in the African American community, and maybe this is not just in the African American community, but that's the community that I'm thinking about the most.
Primarily.
Yeah.
I've worked with.
Yeah, yeah,
I've worked with the youth, and
yeah.
our youth tends to be a little bit more rigid, especially if
Mm.
they don't have a healthy balanced diet in the household, which is not to the fault of the household. It's the community.
Yeah.
It's the food
It's the way-
deserts that we live in our
Yeah.
communities. It's
When
the
the
And
lack.
the culture.
The kid has to wake up and walk to school, and the closest thing is the liquor
It's the
store.
liquor store.
And I'm going to
There's-
get the Takis and the soda, the juice.
Yeah, we have a
Yeah.
lack of access of healthy foods in Black and Brown communities. We definitely live in more food deserts, and so
Overall, maybe.
yeah,
But what about when for the people in our community who don't? Even if you are abundant, there still can be that mindset and that the culture
right.
because passed down all the way from
Well,
when
they're
we were
habits, they're
enslaved.
lifestyle habits.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
You know what I'm
It's culture because I'm that
Very
child.
much so.
I'm that child. I
Uh-huh.
lived in abundance
Sure.
in the
Uh-huh.
90s. I lived in abundance, and
Mhm.
I can tell you right now, we ate horribly. Like I actually I tell people I had fast food. There was points in my life I was having fast food 3-4 times a week.
Mhm.
Yeah.
3-4 times a week, and definitely Alzheimer's is important to me. My father passed away in 2020 from Alzheimer's, and it's what woke me up to change my life when it came to health, because that's what I was learning. Like
Yes.
the food that you eat, there is a direct connection or correlation, however you want to say it. I think this is fact. The food you eat directly connects to the sickness that you end up getting.
Absolutely.
And
Well, yes, and so but let's also say this, and this is what I hear a lot in response,
Mhm.
right? Is that I used to have a bumper sticker that said "Eat right." What did it say? Eat right, exercise, die anyway. And so one of the things you'll hear back from people is, "Well, we all got to go some way."
You do, but
Right.
you have to think about the quality of life while you're here.
Well,
Right.
you that would be optimal,
Yeah.
but you don't have to do anything.
No, you don't
Right.
have to.
So
but
that would be optimal because we do want to be as healthy as we possibly can until we are gone.
Yeah.
And for me, my kind of thing is no medication. Like I'm
Yeah.
anti medication for myself. That's just me. As long as I possibly can be.
Yeah.
We're all probably going to get to a point where we're going to have to be on something. But that's just
Nah,
my personal
I'm
goal.
not gonna claim that.
I know. Well, but that's just my personal goal. So, it is hard to talk to people about it, and it seems to me like you have found a way to relay the information to people, older people, who sometimes may not be amenable to that conversation, maybe even with people in their family, but for whatever reason, do you have a way that you're communicating with them that makes them listen to you more than others, maybe?
I find that the way that I've communicated is just being myself.
Yep.
And just being
So keeping it real.
just keeping it real and just being non-judgmental
Yes.
and really trying to make the information engaging and fun. And I think the way that I've kept the attention of the class that I teach and able to get other people in is I provide them the ingredients. I go out every week.
Yeah,
I buy
that's
them
crazy.
the ingredients.
Yeah.
We package it up. We give it to them. And some people buy on their own, but I provide for a lot of folks. And then they show up because I give them the tools.
Yes.
I have the platform. I give them the tools and I make it fun. We give them all of the nutrition facts and we make it so they're engaged. It's not like they're just showing up and they're watching.
Yeah.
We're doing it together. We're learning together. And I never position myself like I'm an expert or I'm a nutritionist. No, I am a Black woman that wants to be healthy and I love my community and I want y'all to be healthy too. So we're learning this together.
Absolutely.
And so like some of the recipes, I'm like reading through it and we're learning it together. I never try to show up like I'm the expert. I'm just the person with the platform and the ability to create this space so we can learn together. And my only hope and dream is that in that I can shift the paradigm of these people's mindsets so they can share this information with their families, with their children, with their grandchildren, with their neighbors. And that's what I see happening. They prepare meals and they're like, oh, I'm going to take this to my neighbor. Oh, I'm preparing this to my daughter and her husband and their kids are going to come over, eat it. Or, I'm making this, I'm going to eat it later for dinner, with my family. And so to actually see that in motion, like what I envisioned it to be, just like shifting paradigms of like how we looked at food and it's and the ripple of energy that it goes throughout, like that, these good vibes, good information, good energy, and it goes out into the community and affects families, not just one generation, not just the elders, but generationally down. They're still here. They still have the opportunity to teach, even though we've learned a lot of things and we've all had some bad habits that once we shifted as adults, now we got to go back and teach our kids how to do better. Like, I know I showed you this one way, but now I'm changing. And I try to tell my kids the same thing. Like, listen, I'm human and I don't do everything right. I've done lots of things wrong, but as I'm growing, I still have the opportunity now to turn around and teach you something. And that's always going to be my job, is to teach you better. And so that's all we can hope. We never try to force anybody to do anything because people don't receive that.
No, they don't.
Very well.
They really don't. And I do think that from what I'm hearing you say, one of the key elements of what you do might be providing bringing the ingredients.
Give it.
Yeah,
like, here you go.
Because that's amazing. Because it's one thing to have recipes and all that other stuff. But if you're providing the stuff like a packet or a box or whatever it is, however your delivery system is, then it takes away a lot of the effort because just doing the shopping.
Exactly.
I mean, I grocery shop so much, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know?
So do I.
Yeah.
So I spend a lot of
So I
time
have to
Same here.
butt in just a little bit, y'all.
Yeah.
We have to go to a quick music.
All right. I love music.
Yeah.
Me too.
We halfway through the show already. You're listening to KGPC 96.9 FM Oakland and streaming on www.kgpc969.org. This is the Anything Can Happen show. I'm going to a quick music break, y'all.
All right.
This is special guest hand time. All my soldiers over there, Albert. Everybody out here.
Stay tuned,
That
everybody.
quick, 30 minutes in, halfway.
Yes.
Man. Are you on your personal?
I'm on my personal.
Oh, okay. We in the building, Shaq.
Anything can happen.
Oops.
Oh no.
We was jamming too hard in it. What happened? Look at Bruce's face.
You're in trouble.
Like, what the heck?
Say no until they fade away. Amazing.
Ready?
Get a little
Come
boost
on.
in.
Ready to go to Vegas again, huh?
I
You
need a
ready for that
break.
pool party?
I do not need another trip to Vegas for a minute.
Every October though, I'll be back in October.
I'm supposed to be doing it.
Yeah.
May or
I'm out there for,
July.
I think I remember. Oh wait, I'm actually going. I might be going in August.
no, bachelorette party. Two different things. Two different vibes.
Two different kinds of
Bachelorette, yeah, bachelorette party. Super turned up. It was fun. Oh, so there's the live. There's a camera there. So.
Yes, that's the YouTube.
Okay, YouTube family.
Like,
You should have told me all the angles I needed to be looking out for.
everywhere.
Like, camera over here, camera over here, camera over here.
We're everywhere. The three-dimensional, four-dimensional being today. Got one behind you.
There. Oh, like, oh no. Let's plug it in. So do you want to shift gears? Do you want to stay on this position?
You got after this today.
My daughter has she has a performance at her school. My days are like,
Yeah. I got right here. I got to go pick up my son. So, April 7th, Heal the Hood opening. First Friday.
Yep.
April 7th, Friday, 5 to 9.
I think I'm gonna be gone. I think because it's spring break for my kid. And we're gonna be in Tahoe on the 6th.
Ah.
6th to the so whatever that Thursday is to like Sunday or Monday. Yeah.
Anybody that's in town, April 7th, Heal the Hood in collaboration with First Friday, y'all. Hang out there. We're gonna be educated so much. Man, it's gonna be a whole event. We're gonna have CRC out there providing fresh produce to the community. We're gonna have our health educators. We're gonna have health regular space. We're gonna have Black Men Yoga out there. There's gonna be so many people coming out and providing free workshops to the community. Make sure you come check it out. Take advantage of all the resources that we're providing to the community. April 7th, first Friday, we're gonna be right in front of the Moxie
I'll be there.
from 5 to 9, y'all.
I'll be there.
If I was in
Gonna be in the
town, I
building.
would be there.
Oh yeah, and I definitely need to start out my this thing that I'll be doing
So mark my calendar right now. Let's come back to that when we come back on here.
Said 5 to 9.
5 to 9, April 7th.
I'll put it in my calendar.
All right.
Yeah, we're coming back, y'all.
I missed the word.
You're listening to KGPC 96.9 FM Oakland and streaming online at www.kgpc969.org. This is the Anything Can Happen show with Kenya Asa, Cat Fitness, and our special guest host, Darren from Financial State of Minds. We have the world famous Shanette from the Good Life Path.
Speaking into existence. honey.
Making big change.
Speaking into existence.
Making big change in the community. Come on. Living her best life.
I'm living my best life.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, Shanette, like, so So how do people get involved in your programs?
Okay, that's a really, really good question. Thank you for asking. So we have a website, thegoodlifepath.org, that you can go to and you can register for classes there. And we have so many classes now. It's really cool. We started out with one class, a few participants. We now have multiple. So we have cardio, strength and conditioning. We have Pilates. We have a moves and grooves, which is a form of dance, Zumba-ish. We can't really use Zumba, but Zumba-ish.
High energy dance.
Very high energy dance
Right.
movement.
Yeah.
Of course, we have my cooking class. We have strength and conditioning. Oh, and then we have our mindfulness Mondays. So I have a mindful and meditation
lovely.
class
Lovely.
that we love so much. That's really dope. So if you want to just understand meditation more, we have that. And then, of course, one of my favorites is Barbershop Talk, which is the program specifically for Black men.
Yeah, that was off the hook. I love what was the gentleman's name that was hosting the
Craig Cook.
Craig Cook?
Shout out to Craig. That's
Man,
Shout
he was
Craig
man, he was a great host. He just
he did a great job.
It was on point.
Nice.
Man.
Yeah, so it was you, Craig Cook, as the host, and Adisa Banjoko from 64 Blocks, and Dr. Charles Wyndon.
Yeah, man, that panel, they were like one after another. We were just all complimenting each other's
Dropping knowledge.
Wow.
modalities and
I loved it.
You
It
know,
was so good.
so many tools and resources that you could use.
Yeah.
But let's change the speed because I see you brought in a poster or something.
I did.
Like, what's going on with
Oh.
that?
So I'll pull it out and I'll just I
Yeah.
don't know if I
Can't
can
hide.
show it. So tomorrow, I'm gonna be
Tomorrow,
on a panel.
March 31st.
Tomorrow, March 31st. Thank you so much, Mr. Captain. Tomorrow, Friday, March 31st, on Cesar Chavez Day at the Oakland Museum.
Okay.
Very local, OMCA. We have Weaving the Possible Futures, which is involved a lot of really dope DJs, poetry, and panel discussions. It'll be myself, Flava Elisa Mora, who is a poet, and lots of DJs, DJ Alma, and my really close dear friend DJ Black is one of the co-facilitators. And yeah, so if you have some time, please stop by. I believe
what time
starts at 5
Okay.
is when the event starts. Poetry at 6:45. At 7:00, the panel discussion begins.
Do I have to register and get tickets somewhere, or do I just show up?
That's a good question, Kat.
Okay.
I think you just show up.
Let's just show up, y'all. Pull up.
I think you just pull up. It's free to all ages, so it's an all age event. You can bring the youth there, and then I believe after this event, they're actually having a party, like DJs.
Nice.
So then I'm gonna like go
Nice.
bring
Leaving
my
the kids at home.
I'm bringing my kids to
Yeah.
discussion. I'm gonna take them home and come back. So I can.
Nice. Can I see the? Can I see
You
it?
absolutely
Yeah,
can.
let's show
Yes.
this.
So
What time does it start?
it starts at 5 p.m.
Oh,
tomorrow.
good. Okay, so
At
it'll
the
be
Oakland-
after school.
At Oakland Museum, yeah. Well, tomorrow there is no school.
Oh yeah, it's spring break already.
Spring break.
Yeah,
oh, not
tomorrow
for my
is-
child has school tomorrow.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yes.
no. Well, tomorrow's Cesar Chavez Day. So my kids don't have school, but they have me working anyway. It's work for me. But yeah, so it starts at 5:00 and it's going to be a really dope event. So shout out to DJ Black
So
Nice.
for inviting me to be on the panel discussion about weaving possible futures. I appreciate it.
yeah, one of the things that I really took away from the first half of the conversation was like how when you discuss and work with other people, you're very open and be like, I'm not perfect. Like
At all.
I'm working on this just like you're working on
Yeah.
this,
Mhm.
you know? So where are you at in your journey right now? Like mind, body, spirit, like
it's interesting. I definitely feel a lot stronger than I did 3 years ago, but I also realize that even in our moments of growth, there's still like these moments of growth, right?
Yeah.
Like you're growing and you're still growing. So I feel like as far as like my nutrition, way stronger. I'm like solid. Exercise, still working on that. I'll get involved. I'll fall off. I'll get back involved. I fall off, but I never stop trying.
So my question to
Yeah.
you is, the nutrition seems like you said, it's like, okay, I got that.
Uh-huh.
What makes the fitness aspect the challenging component? What do you-
Consistency and discipline. And I feel
but
like
that it's the same thing with the nutrition.
It
Well,
is
it's-
not, because everybody
it's the same
loves to
thing.
eat.
okay, and
Everybody loves
everybody
to eat,
has to eat,
but not
right?
everybody loves to exercise, Kat.
Right.
Everybody loves to
And
eat,
this is
though.
the other thing, like, you know, I
Yeah.
hate to use this excuse, like the whole motherhood thing, but like, as you know, I have so many things on my plate. It really becomes an instance where you have to make a decision about your ability to love yourself the way that you should.
Mhm.
And it becomes like a self-love mode of like, I know I need to do this and I need to be disciplined and I need to carve out some time no matter what. Like, I don't
Mhm.
care what kids
Right.
have to be to soccer,
Right.
what I have to cook. I'm going to have to take out 30 minutes to take a walk or go to the gym.
Yeah.
And so I think that's really where I'm at. Like right now I'm clearing space in my house so I can create a space in my house. So if I can't make it to the gym, I can work out at
Yeah.
home because I know that it has to be done. And as we get older, it's not just about your nutrition. Like if you're not,
Yes.
if you don't have a combination of the both, then one is kind of weaker,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
They're the nutrition and the fitness are strong together. And then when you throw in things like meditation and mindfulness, it just makes it like a powerhouse of tools
So
to like heal yourself.
So when you go to soccer practice with the kids, why not, while they're practicing, why not take some laps or just a
because
walk?
my kids are not, I was just throwing it out there. My kids don't go to soccer practice.
It was just an example.
It was an example.
But I think
For a
also,
brief second, I thought our kids went to
Right.
soccer practice.
I
Like,
think
I was
think
right there. I was like,
you
okay,
were right
soccer
there,
practice.
yes.
Well,
Like,
I have a
okay.
son that plays basketball, so with basketball
Okay.
it's a little bit different, but
Yeah.
he's older, so he doesn't. I'm not
he doesn't
at
need you
his
to be there.
practice.
He
He
gets his own Uber
just
ride.
with the kids. So I mean,
Right.
but that's a really good point. Like
Yeah.
even
Yes.
you know, since COVID, like getting my kids back involved in physical activity is necessary. But my kids do all their physical activity in like their after school program.
Yeah.
So I have to actually now step outside of all of that and go, all right, when can I fit in some time to work out?
So-
like
And also it can be what you love or what you're passionate
Right.
about.
Yeah.
Because I dance, and so that's the reason
Right.
why I get out.
okay.
Again,
so-
and of course I'm a yoga teacher too.
Yeah.
I'm going to
But,
say a
yeah,
quick little story.
Something you like.
So
yeah.
when I was training in Oakland at the Ultimate Sports Academy, right? We do our strength and conditioning programs while they had their baseball and softball workshops, right? At the facility. And it would be parents sitting there watching their kids for like an hour, maybe 2 hours, going through these baseball and softball camps, right?
Right.
And it was this one girl that was on one of the softball teams, the traveling teams, that was like, man, you could just tell she was an all-star, right? Every time she go in there, batting practice, you hear her cracking the ball, pow! And you're like, wow, that's a little kid, like, she's dope. Like, right?
I like your sound effects.
Yeah. Boom, pow! Yeah, you know. But at one point, when I was doing my classes, I would see her mom there, and I'd be like, hey, why don't you come join us and do a class while your daughter's doing, you know, her softball program? And she was like, no, yeah, later. You know, just procrastinating. She wasn't doing nothing.
No,
She was
yeah,
just
yeah.
sitting there on her phone for like an hour to 2 hours, but she was always there with her daughter, at least 5 days a week,
Yeah.
right? So maybe like a year and a half goes by, and then I look up, and that same girl that was there consistently 5 days a week wasn't there anymore. So I asked one of the head coaches, like, hey, what happened to that dope girl that you guys had on your team? Like, she was like a real all-star. You could tell that she was going to go somewhere, right? And he was like, well, she couldn't make it anymore. And I was like, oh, what happened? He was like, her mother passed away.
Oh no.
Oh, wow. Right? And he said, you know, due to health issues, she passed away. And I was like, wow, what if she did something with that time that she had? Because obviously she had some kind of time.
Yeah.
But in her mind, it was like, no, let me just sit here and focus on my daughter.
So okay, so this
But-
is where
But hold on, let me
okay,
last little
okay,
piece.
okay.
It's like, let me sit here and focus on my daughter, right?
Right.
But to the point where you're neglecting yourself, and
Yeah.
now you're not even here for your daughter.
Yeah.
Now,
Right.
now you just changed. with you not taking care of yourself, now the trajectory of whatever was going on with your daughter has to change because she just lost her mom as well.
Well, we oftentimes do not believe fat meets greasy, as,
Oh,
as my mother would say. But coming from the psychology background, right? I think to myself, there's always a reason why we are not doing whatever it is, something. Okay. So for her, it could have, obviously rest in peace to that poor lady and her family, but that could have been her mental health moment, right? That could have been her downtime. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we don't know what was going on in her life, or maybe she knew she had some health issues, or maybe she didn't. But like we were just talking about, things that go hand in hand, right? We can't think to ourselves, only fitness, only mindfulness, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
We have to find a way to get our people, our moms, our communities into a mindset. Yeah, moms and dads, absolutely. Into a mindset where they are able to take mental breaks. Right? So maybe that was her mental break time. I don't know. Maybe she needed to scroll. Maybe she was playing a game on her phone or something where she had so many other things. Of course, I'm making up this scenario because I didn't know her. But she could have so many other things going on in her life where that was her spot. That was her time to do nothing. And I am a big fan of rest in whatever way, shape, or form you can get it. Just like Trisha Hersey's book, Rest is Resistance. Whatever way that you can get some rest, we go in this culture all the time. And I love a nap. I love to relax. I will sit in my car and take a nap. I will get rest any way that I can. And so there's got to be some balance, because what you're saying, Kat, is, instead of doing whatever she was doing or being there for her daughter, watching her daughter, scrolling on her phone, she could have been moving her body. And yes, but also maybe she was relaxing her mind. Who knows? And so I think that's a piece of the puzzle that our culture needs to figure out. Because people are having really bad mental problems and super stress. Stress is a killer, which is why, stress is a killer, which is why I retired when I retired early, right? Because I was just like, I'm going to end up gone, like a lot of people.
But even with all that being said, right, the key thing is we have time, but how are we utilizing our time? Right. So even if she did want, that time to herself, right? Like I said, she was at least there for 2 hours, right? 1 hour could have been towards like, hey, this is going to be my chill time. I'm going to watch my daughter. The other 30 minutes to an hour can be like, okay, let me go get on the treadmill. Let me go do one of the classes. Let me do something for myself, right? Because with that, you're going to get the endorphins that make you feel better anyways. That's going to help you with a lot of that stress.
Education piece that a lot of us don't have.
It's not even education. You can, I'm a coach. I educate. That's what I do. You can have as much education in the world. It's the application of the education.
There's that.
I think we undervalue the importance of application. We don't know that lady's situation, so we can play scenario. But it's the application of education that is so important. They say that the old saying is knowledge is power. It's really the application of knowledge that makes it power. So one thing that I know about coaching is you can give the person the information, but you have to, and this, Kat, as a coach too, is goals. What is your goal? So that's how you can apply the education more effectively. Maybe she already knew. I'll honestly say this. She probably knew because you already had told her that she should be doing that. But there was something, to Kenya, your point, there was something that was making her say, even though I know I should be taking my time out of my day for self-care and exercising, I'm in a situation to where I just want to sit here, scroll on my Instagram, probably watching TikTok videos, relax for 2 hours and watch my daughter do her thing.
Yeah.
But what viewer Tiffany, hey Tiffany, thank you for making this comment, is she said align them, right?
Right.
Which is the balance that I was talking about. Because it really hurts me just as a mom and, you know, as a woman, as a human being, to hear that story, because, you know, it just always kind of makes me wonder, you know, what actually was going on
Yeah.
with her. And anything could have happened. You know, we don't know what happened to that woman.
Right.
You know, but I do think it's a good point for this discussion to happen a little bit more often.
Yeah,
Is can we find ways to carve out the time for our fitness
Right.
things, whatever
Just
kind of
self-care.
workout you need? Well, yes, but also self-care can be resting.
Yeah.
And can be
Correct.
doing nothing.
Yeah.
You know, I say in my yoga class, I said this during Pussy Yoga last week.
Uh-oh.
I said, whatever it is you want to do in this moment, laying on your back is a yoga pose.
Yeah.
Lay there and just breathe if that is what you need to do. And some people need permission to do
Correct.
nothing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I want to bring up, if I appreciate that you went to your audience, because for one of my viewers, Fatima said, like, we really don't, when you don't really know, it's like hard to say like what conditions like
Yeah.
somebody may have or they could not. But I think the overall idea and is just like the preventative, right? Like, what are the things that we can do to prevent ourselves from being in those positions and situations with our health, where we don't have the option any longer, where we can't drum up the strength.
Yeah.
And I completely agree with you in regards to the resting part, because somebody told me today, I need you to take some time off and just do nothing. Just
Mhm.
sit down. Yeah. It's not easy. And
Yep.
I think in
Yep.
our culture, especially if you're very driven, like taking time off is almost like a sin, and you feel really guilty about it. And when I rest, sometimes I'm like thinking, gosh, well, the laundry needs to get done, and I need to do this, and I need to be answering these emails. And then at some point, you know, like when your health starts to break down, though, you'll
Yes.
realize that none of those things matter that much. That email can wait.
Right.
That laundry gonna be sitting right there when I get up,
Sure will.
and everything's gonna be okay.
That's right.
But what's important is that I take care of myself. So whether it's that I need to take a nap, or I need to take a complete day off, or I need to go take a walk, or I need to go to the gym, but we all have to decide for ourselves what that looks like
That's right.
for ourselves without feeling guilty about any
Yes.
part of it.
Yes.
You know, just even if you're just starting with a small walk, you don't have to be, hey, I'm vegan today, but just start with one meal of your day, just fruits and vegetables. Go to the produce store. I love to just like look at vegetables and produce that I've never tried before and just try something new.
Yeah.
And especially now when we're talking about kids, like getting them to try new things, because it's us, right? We're the ones that teach them the bad habits. And so we have to now go back and really kind of correct some of the things that we've culturally done wrong. And we also cannot feel guilty as a community when the systems have been put in place for us to destroy ourselves.
Right.
We have to look at
That's
that.
episode 3 right
Yeah.
there. That
We
Right.
have to
Right.
not
Uh-huh.
beat ourselves up as a community and say, you know what? Sorry. We cannot
Feeling a
feel
little
guilty.
passionate over here.
Yeah, I'm just like beating on the table.
Yeah.
I was doing something else the last time I was here, and then he was like, if you don't stop tapping on the table, I do. I get really passionate. But yeah, we do have to be able to honor that for ourselves, that we have intentionally been put in food deserts, and we have intentionally been fed things, whether it be mind, body, and spirit, that have been designed to destroy us from the inside out and all around us. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, that's for a whole nother episode,
that's
because that
episode
rabbit
3.
hole goes real deep.
Yeah.
But
You're a prime example, though, of one person right? Being able to do something. Each
Yeah.
one of us can do our small
Do
part.
our small part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I feel very blessed and very grateful that I'm able to do that. I really genuinely feel like I was led by the ancestors. And I don't care how crazy that sounds.
It does not.
literally
Mhm.
yeah, I was literally led to this space, and I'm honestly just doing what I'm being told to do.
Yeah.
I don't feel like
That's another
I
conversation.
don't feel like it's
walking
like
in
I
your
have
path
some,
of purpose.
thought or process that, like, oh my God, like I'm super genius. I mean, I am pretty smart. I'm not gonna lie. But
That's right.
I
That's right.
absolutely feel like I'm being led. Like this purpose is serving the community,
Yeah.
serving the elders, and the trickle down effect of how it'll affect our communities is just what I'm put here to do. And so I'm just being a humble servant at this
Yes.
point.
See, and this is why we finished last time, and I was like, we need an episode 2, and now we finished episode 2, and I'm like, hey, we need an episode 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we're at
Well,
the end of the show
I am
today.
humbly grateful.
So, can you let everybody know where they can find you, any upcoming events, websites before we get out of here today?
Absolutely. So, well, you can find me a couple of places. I would start with, if you want to register for any of our classes, you can go to thegoodlifepath.org as our website, or you can find us at the Good Life Path on Instagram and the same on Facebook. And then if you just have some questions for me, maybe you have some questions before you get signed up and you want to find me on IG, you can find me at GoddessNet on IG, which is GODD_S_NETTE. And you can also find me tomorrow at the Oakland Museum at 5:00.
Come on. And guess what? You can also find her next Friday at our Heal the Hood event.
Absolutely.
Heal
the Hood.
April 7th. In front of the Moxie. You absolutely
we're going to be in front of the Moxie, y'all.
Yes.
And it's going to be an amazing event. We're going to be out there collabing with so many great community organizations. We're going to be passing out free produce. We're going to have free workshops. We're going to also be doing classes out there. So make sure you come through 5 to 9, first Fridays. It's an extension of their footprint. They're coming down Telegraph. We're going to be in front of Moxie all the way down to 22nd, y'all. So make sure you come check us out. And thank you once again, Miss Shanette, for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
And
It's
dropping
always
so
a
many
good vibes.
jewels.
Make sure you eat your salad, okay? And make sure you share.
I don't know about sharing. I can't make any promises. I can't make any promises, y'all.
Yes, and if you guys want to get, please, I would love for everybody get signed up for that nutrition class. I'll give you the ingredients so you can cook with me. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
You're listening to KGPC 96.9 FM Oakland, streaming online at www.kgpc969.org. This is the Anything Can Happen show. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. Tune in every Thursday. And we're just here to love on y'all. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and for participating in the show today. See you next Thursday. Bye.
Ooh, we just need a drop, Miss Shanette.
Okay.
So we'll have you do a drop when Miss Felicia gives us the thumbs up.
What's
Well,
your
thank you.
Instagram again?
My personal, it's GODD_.